Okay, class, so this is Sean's work. He's doing apple pie, so this looks like the denotative approach. This is nice, simple, and straightforward. Now we want to bring in a little bit more expression into our denotative, just a tad bit, just so we know that this is still a recipe and we're also still working with typography. So let's see if there's something we can do in terms of maybe the scale of directions and the instructions or the ingredients list that can have a little bit more differentiation between these two areas. So maybe this particular category has a different approach than this particular category. And also, it's nice that you have the white space around, but let's see if there's something we can do to maybe the title of apple pie. Maybe it's something where, it's stacked on the side, or, it could be a little bit smaller, but just need to play a little bit more with the typography. I like the structure of where this is going, but just maybe another um, layer of expression and playfulness in your typography. So I like where this is going to. We've illustrated the apple pie and what looks like the weaves inside of the pie. And I like how readable those areas are. The only problem is when we get to areas where we are starting to layer type on top of one another, that's where we start to lose our readability. And Sean, I like how these are very nicely stacked like so, very readable. Try to see if you can do the same thing with the rest of your type right here. So instead of putting it upside down, flip this area right here. So this area right here and this area right here. So your first and second lines that are upside down, try to flip these upright so that we still read this way, if that makes sense. So I just want to make sure all this is readable type and we're not having to turn our heads to be able to read that. Okay. Same goes for apple and pie. So instead of going around like this, so you have apple, which reads, and then go P, I, and E. So we read that a lot more easily. And see if there's something else we can do instead of layering this type right here, because again, it becomes very difficult to read. But I think with simple adjustments here and there, this could be a very beautiful image of how something like apple pie could be illustrated with type only, and yet it still reads. So just a few adjustments, but I think this is nice. Let's go to Kimberly's work. Kimberly is doing pumpkin cheesecake. So this is nice. I would just say careful with how much white space there is. Just getting too close to the edge here. And remember, you can shave off some of the text over here. It doesn't have to be that long. Remember, you're the author in this particular case. I like how you have the ingredients here and also what it is that you need in terms of prep work and the crust. So I'm wondering if there's just something that we can do so that we can maybe line some of this up a little bit better. So ingredients lined up with pumpkin, and then maybe cheesecake can go more towards the left. You have some dead white space here. I'm wondering if we can do something about this. So if we're flush left here, maybe we can do flush left here for these guys here as well. Just so that way we can organize the page a little bit better. But I think this is nice that it's readable and there's some kind of structure to this layout. Let's look at the connotative. I like that this is illustrating a pumpkin here. So this is very nice, very beautiful. One thing I would say is this kind of stands out to me, the ingredients on a diagonal like so. And so does directions. I'm wondering if you can take directions, just put it down here, like so. And then you go down to step 1, step 2, step 3. So we want to make sure that this is still with this group right here, not accidentally going up into this group. So just be wary of that. And ingredients, I think you can also put on a straight line. But I think this is very nice. This is very tastefully done. Okay. I hope this helps for your next round, just a few adjustments. Let's go to Danielle's work. So Danielle is doing sushi rolls. So this looks like the denotative. So this is very nice and clean. I like where this is going. Danielle, we just remember we're getting rid of any graphic elements that supplement our typography. This is strictly done with type. So I would say take a look at what Sean has done with his layout right here, where he's really using the type itself to be the actual element that he works with, and there's nothing else on the page. So try to see if there's something we can do with this round like structure that you have for your layout. And I know you're trying to illustrate a placemat and a set of a plate set for your sushi setting, but let's see if we can recreate some of those with just type. Okay, but I like how clean this is and your choice of typefaces. So we just need a little bit more, uh, understanding of what this assignment is. Remember, even though this is denotative, you can still put type around like you've done over here, and still call this a denotative layout, depending on how you're using your typography and how it's placed. Okay. This looks like the connotative. I like what you're doing here with the swirl. I'm not sure what's going on here with the sticks. Remember, this is all to be done with type, okay? But I like where you're going with the bold typeface and the thin typeface combination. So see if we can recreate some of those elements with just type. No graphic elements to supplement. I hope this helps, okay? Okay, we don't know who this is. Again, print. Let's see. I believe this is Alexa's work. Okay, Alexa, first name, last name, class, please. Okay? This is Dirty Lemon Martini. So this looks like the denotative. Again, let's take away some of those graphic elements. We're strictly using type here. I like how we're dividing up the word dirty and maybe seeing if there's ways we can use that in our layout. So the thing that stands out to me is how lemon juts out like this on a diagonal. I'm wondering if there's something else we can do like so, but I like how you're dividing up the words and then using that as your grid for the rest of your layout. And maybe just work with the white space here. There's some weird white space here and here. So maybe this part needs to come down a little bit because it's going a little too close to this edge and there's far too much white space here. So let's close some of those areas up. Okay, Dirty Martini. Remember, you're still doing the same recipe. Yeah, I would say again, we're not using any imagery whatsoever. You have to recreate this according to your connotative approach. So what is it about the Dirty Martini that you want to communicate to your viewer? And remember, this is a recipe that you want your viewer to create. So how would you convince them of making this recipe? So we want to do this without imagery, like we said, and see if we can rework some of these types of words on the page in a more expressive manner, I would say. You're starting to get somewhere here with Dirty Martini, but the rest of this is just very much heavily focused on this wedge right here that you've illustrated and this glass right here. So I would say take a look at this and take a look at the examples shown in class from the previous videos or the next coming videos and see how you can really take a look at format and take a look at some effects that you can use for your type. Okay, I hope this helps. So this is the end of this group. I will see you in the next video for the group. I believe this is group 4. Alright, so we've ended group 3. We will go to group 4.